Key takeaways from last night's elections.
An update on Hurricane Melissa relief.
And what is said to be causing a listeria outbreak.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Annie Tomlin.
And I'm Cameron Shields.
Yesterday was election day around the country, and in the midst of a federal government shutdown, the election results are expected to affect forthcoming elections. Key takeaways from this election include victory of Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani is the youngest mayor in New York over a century and ran a campaign that was able to appeal to young voters through outlets like social media. Additionally, California voters voted to approve Proposition 50, which will temporarily overturn California's requirement to draw its congressional districts through independent commission. This sets California up to redraw their congressional maps, which may result in more Democratic seats in Congress.
This morning, the Supreme Court has begun its hearings on Trump's tariffs case. On social media, President Trump called the upcoming Supreme Court case on his sweeping emergency tariffs a, quote, life or death, end quote, moment for the country. In the Tuesday Post, Trump lauded his administration's trade policies, crediting tariffs and new trade deals for what he described as historic economic success. Conservative and liberal justices sharply questioned Solicitor General D. John Sawyer on the Trump administration's method for enacting the tariffs, which critics say infringes on the power of Congress to tax. The court will also decide the limits of a president's power, an area in which the court's 6-3 conservative majority has repeatedly sided with Trump since he began his second term in January.
President Trump says no SNAP benefits will be paid until, quote, radical left Democrats open up government, end quote, while Democrats are saying the administration has the opportunity to pay the benefits in full.
The Trump administration must comply with the court order to partially fund SNAP. But even more egregious is that this administration has the opportunity to immediately fund all of it, and they are actively choosing not to do so. Those benefits could go out within 24 hours if the administration had not made this so difficult.
The Trump administration says it will restart SNAP food benefits, but will only pay half the amount people normally get. The administration will use money from an agricultural department contingency fund. The administration says there's only $4.65 billion available in that fund to pay for SNAP benefits, which is roughly half the $8 billion in food assistance payments people receive each month. It is unclear when those funds will hit.
The government shutdown is now the longest in history, as it has entered its 36th full day. This beats the most previous shutdown in December of 2018 that lasted until January 2019 under the first Trump administration. The stalemate in Congress over funding that occurred on October 1st has no end in sight almost a month later. With both parties shifting blame to one another, little is being done publicly to reopen the government. With over 1 million federal workers without pay and promises of back pay dwindling after the president's recent comments, the shutdown continued to take a toll on the country.
$24 million are being sent by the Trump administration for countries affected by Hurricane Melissa. This money will be used for any emergency assistance. Jamaica will receive $12 million, Haiti will receive $8.5 million, and Cuba will receive $3 million. The remaining $500,000 will go to the Bahamas, and all of the support will go towards water, food, sanitation, housing, and health care. After further damages are assessed, more aid will be administered if needed.
Typhoon Kalmaiji has killed at least 40 people across the Philippines. Rescue operations are underway, and since typhoon and hurricane seasons last through August to November, we are right at the end of this rough tropical season around the world. You know, Annie, I'm not really sure what the difference is between a typhoon and a hurricane.
I know, I think it gets a little bit confusing for me too, but maybe our weather anchor Alex Martinez can clear things up, and he can tell us if we can expect some clear skies for ourselves.
Thanks, Annie. And yes, so the only real difference between hurricanes and typhoons are simply where they are formed. They're pretty much the same exact meteorological occurrence where big winds get kicked up over the ocean, and water and rain gets picked up along with it. Hurricanes occur in the North Atlantic while typhoons occur in the North Pacific. Now, for us up here, we are experiencing a lovely sunny morning and actually a quite warm morning in comparison to last week's mini cold front. Now, if you go look at tonight's conditions, it's going to look pretty similar conditions as well. You know, just a little bit more, still a warm day. Today's going to be a little bit more just warmer in general. But tomorrow morning, though, that is where you're going to need a nice cool jacket. It's going to be 58 tomorrow morning. So on your way to work, on your way to class, make sure to grab something warm to drink, maybe a nice coat, just on your way for your morning commute. That's it for me right now. Back to the desk.
Thanks so much, Alex. A listeria outbreak that has spread across 18 states, including Texas, has been linked to prepared pasta products from the company Nate's Fine Foods Incorporated. The contaminated products have killed 7 and affected 27 since late October. The CDC says that a pregnant woman was among those affected, resulting in fetal loss. The respective companies are performing testing at this time, but the CDC recommends individuals who have purchased these items throw them away or return them to place of purchase, as well as disinfecting any areas the items may have contaminated, such as freezer shelves and food containers.
A Texas OBGYN is under fire, accused by multiple women of non-consecutive recording during routine exams. They're now coming together to file a civil lawsuit. CNN's Adam Schindler has the details.
Kobos law firm traveled to Fort Hood from Houston to accuse the doctor and Fort Hood leadership of what they are calling a years-long assault on women patients at Darnell Medical Center.
He would treat survivors, victims, his patients, OBGYN ladies who would go in for breast examinations. They would go in and check up on their pregnancies. And he would improperly photograph and videotape these women as he was conducting those procedures.
Videos Kobos law firm says he took with his cell phone.
As he was conducting the procedures, he would go to a back room, he would put his phone in his breast pocket, and he would explain to the women that he's expecting a phone call.
3 of the 16 clients the law firm is currently representing shared some of what they say they experienced. One victim traveling all the way from Colorado to do so.
As a physician I once trusted from the Women's Center, only to have that trust violated when he took it upon himself to perform a second vaginal surgery on me without my consent while under general anesthesia, and was manipulated into believing this was okay when I was in recovery and in pain.
Others who just wanted to get an ultrasound or have their first child.
He crossed professional and personal boundaries in ways that made me feel deeply uncomfortable and unsafe. He then further violated my trust by lying in his clinical report about the things that he said and the ways that he touched me during that visit.
Before, every time I looked at my son, I would remember those first few days with so much love and happiness. Now, every time I remember, all I can think about is how I was violated during the most vulnerable time of my life. His actions, combined with the failure of the hospital to protect me and my privacy, will impact myself and the other victims for the rest of our lives.
No charges have been filed, but the Kobos law firm is preparing for a civil suit.
Up next, details on the UPS plane crash in Kentucky.
And how SNAP and the shutdown is affecting local Denton food services.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Hey.
Oh, hey!
What's up?
Nothing much. I'm really bored. I feel like there's nothing to do.
Are you kidding? The MRTS picture show is happening.
The MRTS what?
Come with me.
Okay.
It's a series of free film screenings right here on campus. And there's free popcorn.
Nice. Thank you.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
After 17 months of searching for a missing 88-year-old Dallas woman, police found and recovered her car in 5 Mile Creek. The car, however, was empty. Myrtle Polk is still missing. According to family members, the former Dallas ISD teacher and administrator was in the early stages of dementia at the time of her disappearance. Family members suspected something was wrong when she didn't show up to Sunday service at her church. Dallas police and private search teams continued their search for Polk Wednesday, November 5th. Polk was last seen on June 8, 2024, near the 1100 block on Indian Creek Trail in southern Dallas, driving the 2004 Lexus.
A manhunt is underway after a shooting of an officer on Sunday. The police say 64-year-old Bobby Dennis shot an unnamed officer and a canine officer after an altercation in Jacksonville. The officer is stable after an emergency surgery, and the canine officer is in critical condition. Suspect is considered to be armed and dangerous, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced a $10,000 reward for any information in the case.
A UPS cargo plane crashed shortly after taking off from the Louisville, Kentucky airport Tuesday, leaving a fiery trail of destruction. At least 9 people have died and others are injured. Officials say, warning, the death toll could climb as the investigation continues. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declared a state of emergency and mobilized the National Guard in an effort to quickly free up resources. I don't know about you, Annie, but I've really been enjoying this weather.
Me too, but I hear rumors that it's going to start getting a little bit more cold. So let's check in with our weather anchor, Alex Martinez. Alex?
Thank you, Annie. And yes, the weather conditions right now are kind of all around the place right now, truly. As you can see here, we have a multitude of different temperatures that are available right now, from both 80s to 79s and to 60s and 67s, just in the general area of the DFW area. It's getting cold. It's that time of the year. Now, if we look farther out and we look and see the state, that's when it gets really interesting. As you can see, all the way up here, Amarillo is experiencing 63. Again, Amarillo is usually what they're experiencing what is to come. Colder weathers, colder conditions. As we get closer into December and November, we're going to have experiencing much more colder conditions. In fact, some people are estimating a possible freeze coming soon. Who knows? We'll keep you updated on that. But the most interesting thing is going to be down here over at Houston. Houston's experiencing 81, as well as Austin, still holding on to that heat for dear life down there by the coast. Now, if we go into the week, you're going to see what we have in store for us. Just a consistent, actually a much more warmer week than what we had last week. A lot more hotter conditions, 83, 82s, 81s, but it's all just going to be a nice sunny week. Now, the most important thing that you guys need to know is on Sunday and Monday. Those are going to be our coldest days that we have experienced so far. It's going to be a high of 59 on Sunday and a low of 34 on as well. High 58, low 40 is going to be cold. Please wear a jacket and please keep yourself warm. That's all for me right now. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Alex. Highland Park recently called for a special election to allow voters to decide whether or not the city remains a DART member. Highland Park, along with Plano, have stated that the amount they pay in taxes did not equal the amount of services they receive. Officials have said that Highland Park has contributed over $107 million since becoming a member in 1983. The official decision will be voted on in May, where voters will decide the fate of Dart in Highland Park.
The government shutdown has brought many questions about resource allocation, and with food being one of those important resources, here's how Denton is being affected by increasing food need.
Following the government shutdown, complete SNAP benefits have been paused and will only be 50% of their original allotment for November 2025. I spoke with Courtney Duangdara, the Deputy Director for Community Services, to see how this affects Denton on a local level.
We have a combination of approximately $1.5 million. So it's a few different federally funded sources through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, for housing and community development, and then Denton City Council supplements that with just around $377,000 to support those human services or social service projects. Right now we fund 2 programs that provide food services back to the community.
But community services can only provide so much without federal aid.
The Denton Community Food Center is one of our largest food pantries here in Denton. And they have been preparing for and already seen an increase in need just generally. The state administers SNAP funding and SNAP benefits in Texas, and they have not been impacted by the shutdown staffing-wise. They have kind of turned off the system that administers the benefits. For every meal that a food pantry provides, SNAP provides 9. And so either way, we're looking at just a significant gap most immediately, and probably stretching forward for another month or so, depending on if and when benefits are reactivated.
Cameron Shields, NTTV News.
Coming up, how melatonin could affect your heart.
And how the Angel Tree Adoption Program is back for the holidays. Stay with us.
I use Flex to buy my favorite snacks.
I use Flex to get me through my mornings.
I use Flex at my favorite campus restaurants.
I love how Flex is a cashless payment method and can be used at all campus dining venues.
So, how do you use Flex?
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
The long-standing popular magazine Teen Vogue is losing its independent standing due to staff cuts. Multiple BIPOC women writers and editors who created the cultural and political voice of Teen Vogue throughout its 22-year-long existence were laid off this week. The parent company Condé Nast stated that Teen Vogue would continue merging under Vogue.com. The editor-in-chief, Versha Sharma, is exiting the company, while Vogue's head of editorial content, Chloe Mao, will oversee Teen Vogue.
Annie, I've been having so much trouble before the news. going to sleep. I'm just too excited.
Me too, but be careful about using melatonin. Our anchor Jenny Yanez has some more information about how melatonin may affect your heart. Jenny?
Thanks, guys. New melatonin can help you sleep. New research suggests it may cause some surprising risks to your heart. A new study presented at the American Heart Association upcoming conference found that adults who used melatonin supplements for a year or longer were about 90% more likely to develop heart failure compared to those who didn't use it. Melatonin supplements are often seen as safe and natural, but they aren't regulated by the FDA like prescription drugs. That means some bottles can contain higher doses than advertised. Experts say the best way to improve your sleep is still sleep and keep good habits like cutting back on screen time before bed and going to sleep around the same time, around each night. Low-dose melatonin is still considered safe for most adults, but if you're taking regularly, it's best to talk with your doctor first. That's all I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Texas is set to approve a $3 billion fund for dementia research. The fund will be approved through a Proposition 14, which will establish a Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas and authorize $3 billion to be spent on the fund. Governor Dan Patrick is leading the effort to get this proposition passed, and the approval of this funding is expected to bring more specialists in dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's and related disorders to the state of Texas.
All right, Cameron, now that Halloween is over, it looks like winter holidays are in full swing.
I don't know about you, Annie, but with the thought of finals week closing in and all of us needing to do all this extra work, I am in some need of some holiday cheer.
Well, Cameron, our segment anchor Evanson Franklove has just the thing to cheer us up. Evanson?
Thanks, guys. The holiday spirit is kicking off early across North Texas as the Salvation Army opens adoptions for its annual Angel Tree program. This long-running tradition helps bring joy to more than 35,000 children, seniors, and adults with special needs during the holidays. For nearly 50 years, Angel Tree has given our community a way to share hope and kindness one gift at a time. If you'd like to help, you can adopt an angel, make a donation, or volunteer your time. Just visit SalvationArmyNTX.org for more information. For Positively North Texas, I'm Evanson Franklove.
Thanks so much, Evanson. The holiday spirit really does warm my heart. As the holiday season starts, we're going to have more winter sports to follow as well.
That's true, though I'm more of a spring, summer sports person, but I hear Elias has some more hockey news for us. Elias?
Thanks, guys. That's right. When we come back, we'll talk about the Dallas Stars, a blockbuster trade deadline move, and UNT softball.
Look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pole Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indy.
Here at KNTU, we have 2 traditional stations, 88.1 Indy and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at MediaNorthTexas.com.
That was pretty good.
The Dallas Stars are back in the win column today after a shootout victory against the Edmonton Oilers last night. The Stars were trailing for most of the game until they tied it up in the third period to send the game to overtime. After no points were scored by either club in overtime, the game was sent to a shootout where Wyatt Johnston of the Dallas Stars scored the game-winning goal. In his 4th season with the Dallas Stars, the 22-year-old has 14 points in 13 games. His scoring campaign last night included assists on all 3 Stars goals and the game-winning shootout goal. The Stars will face off again tomorrow at the American Airlines Center against the Anaheim Ducks at 7 p.m. In a blockbuster deal at the NFL trade deadline, the Indianapolis Colts have obtained cornerback Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets in exchange for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. At the age of 25, Sauce Gardner has a career completion rate of 50%, 3 interceptions, and 36 pass breakups. Gardner was a 2-time All-Pro cornerback with the Jets. With the addition of Gardner to their roster, the Colts cornerback position depth is now a strength for the Colts after being tested in the season leading up to this acquisition. Following a change in the head coach of UNT's softball team, the players and coaches are adjusting to a new play style and new culture on the team for this season. I got a chance to visit one of their games for some fall ball and talk with the new head coach and some of the players to see what they're all about this upcoming season.
As Cody White steps into the University of North Texas softball team's role of head coach, he talks about what is important for this team this upcoming season.
We're trying to build a culture here that's just exciting. There's so much momentum going with the softball program here. I walked into a great situation, but the momentum that we're going to use, we're just going to keep going that direction, and we're trying to have fun. We're trying to play with energy. It's been a transition.
Senior Brittany Lewinsky talks about how the coaching staff has helped create a home for her here in her final year of college.
I'm extremely blessed with this coaching staff, these girls. From the second I walked in, these girls were so welcoming, and I've never been in a program where it just felt like home. So I'm very excited about this year.
With new coaching staff comes a new play style, and they talk about how to accommodate that on a team that has been playing a slower game.
Energy. We're just bringing so much energy, trying to change the mold a little bit, coming out. We're seeing our players start to do that. They're having a lot more fun and just flying around, and so that's kind of what we're talking about.
One of the key factors this year has been culture. Junior Elizabeth Moffitt talks about how that affects the team's play style.
I think we've had a culture shift a little bit. I think that we as a team have been doing good. I think that a lot of us have just grown as people and learned so much from Coach White, and I think he's doing great things.
With NTTV News, I'm Elias Freeman.
Thanks so much, Elias. Annie, I have a serious question for you.
Yes.
Are you excited for Christmas?
I can't lie, Cam, I really am, but it looks like I'm not the only one. Spirit Halloween, a company created by Spencer Gifts, has become Spirit Christmas for this season.
That's right, Spirit Christmas will be opening stores across 12 states featuring decorations, stocking stuffers, and pictures with Santa himself.
Some of the stores will open in pre-existing Spirit Halloween stores, while others will be at some new locations. So keep an eye out for the holiday spirit coming near you.
With that, thank you so much for watching NTTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.